Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What the fuck you looking at?
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. Wrestlers get old, man. I mean, shit, we all get old, but wrestlers get old school old. You know, all those bumps and bruises really add up over the years, and eventually they somehow end up looking like if people were balloons and they just got deflated. Some wrestlers manage to look the exact same over the years. Stone Cold Steve Austin looks pretty much identical to the way he looked back in the 90s, but other wrestlers just aren't so fortunate to retain their classic look. I'm D Wicket, and here are 10 wrestlers you might not be able to recognize in 2019. Number 10, KAMALA.
Undertaker still flat on the canvas. We have seen the demise of the Undertaker, I believe.
KAMALA is a surprisingly important figure in the modern landscape of professional wrestling because to a lot of people, he was the original wild, savage, foreign heel. While that's not exactly a popular archetype and unsurprisingly can come off a bit racist, KAMALA's influence can clearly be seen on wrestlers like Umaga, the caveman-esque mannerisms, the tribal-like face paint. You can see exactly how the character was portrayed and why it likely worked so well throughout the cartoonish era of the Golden Age. Nowadays, KAMALA couldn't even try to get the same gimmick going on his own 2 feet, mostly because he doesn't have them anymore.
Our wrestling fans, this is KAMALA, the Ugandan Giant.
Number 9, Paul Orndorff.
The world's heavyweight champion. Oh, look at that. A sucker shot right off the bat as Orndorff catches the champ.
Paul Orndorff is like the textbook definition of what happens to a regular looking dude once he gets old. Like, he just looks old. Mr. Wonderful clearly lucked out, seeing as a good few people on this list will definitely look quite different, often for the worse, while Orndorff managed to get himself out of the wrestling business and into his elderly years with just some gray hair and a major loss of muscle. I suppose that's for the better though, right? Maybe not the hair, but who the hell would want to see a buffed up, muscle bound grandfather? Oh my fuck.
I was doing moves that I didn't even know I knew. I was doing slams, I was doing suplexes, I was bam.
Number 8, Jake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts. You know who's in the bag.
Props and respect to Jake Roberts, alright? Absolute props. Addiction is rough, and thanks to a mix of hard work, dedication, and DDP, he's managed to completely turn his life around for the infinitely better. Unfortunately, age is still kind of an asshole. Yeah, even though the Snake is probably in the best shape of his life since the 90s, he kind of still looks like if Mario got really old. If Nintendo ever decides to go for an old legend coming out of a retirement story for their next big Super Mario movie, they know who to call.
I see a ghost. John, that's Jake the Snake Roberts.
Number 7, Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose and the Rosebuds were one of the strangest things to ever happen in WWE. He was a party guy, like No Way Jose if he ever got on TV. He had a big bunny, Justin Gabriel in a buddy costume, in fact, who he ended up feuding with once. What the fuck kind of show are we all tuning into on Monday nights?
Where these people come from?
Well, anyways, over the years, Rose has taken on many looks, some especially alarming ones throughout the course of his drug problems, and I'll admit, we're cheating a little bit with this one because right now, as of a few months ago, he does look pretty normal again, but he went bald for a while, and that's someone who just should not go bald. Number 6, Paul Burchill.
Burchill revealed that his family's lineage traced back to a great-great-great-great-grandfather who was a pirate. Blackbeard, right? Right.
Who could forget Paul Burchill, everyone's favorite pirate? Get the fuck out of here, Kyrie saying no one gives a shit about you. It's Paul Burchill season, ladies. I don't remember writing it's Paul Burchill season, ladies. Remember when he swung into our hearts? And by that I mean he literally fucking swang on a rope. Swang. That's a weird motherfucking word right there, and a weak Ray Shrimmered song too. He swung on a fucking rope for his debut entrance onto SmackDown, and I swear to God, now this isn't the greatest moment, but it's definitely in the upper echelon. What wasn't in the upper echelon was that incest angle they tried to pull off with his sister Katie. Now that shit was whack. What the fuck is this video about again? The most controversial pirates in WWE history? The fuck am I on about? Here's a picture of Paul Burchill nowadays, and yes, he looks very different. And here's a clip of him swinging into SmackDown for good measure.
What the hell? Whoa, he's a Buccaneer!
Number 5, the Iron Sheik.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What the fuck you looking at?
The man, the myth, the motherfucking Twitter legend. The Iron Sheik is up there in terms of greatest racist influences in WWE history. Just like KAMALA was the first look television had at a professional wrestling wild savage, the Iron Sheik was the first look we all had at what a foreign, anti-America heel looked like, and goddamn was the timing right for this gimmick. Having won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship in 1983, fresh off the heels of the Iranian hostage crisis, the Sheik couldn't have picked a more perfect time to get heat. Nowadays, the Iron Sheik might not be the pioneer of what he does, but is a great example of what insanity looks like if it, as a concept, had access to Twitter. Look, I'll be honest, the Sheik just looks like an older version of himself nowadays. You've all been fucking bamboozled, because I just really needed to find a way to talk about this man. Have you checked his Twitter lately? First off, this is his pinned tweet. Okay, so you know this is already going to be good. Then you got classics like the Tamina Excellent, you got some classic 80s and 5 words, and of course, who could forget Motivation Monday? Okay, that'll do for this episode of D-Wicked's bullshit inside of a separate video. Back to the real shit.
No. You think you can fuck with me? Don't think so.
Number 4, Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Something actually out of the top shelf of Chippendales. I could only be talking about Brutus Beefcake, one of the greats in the World Wrestling Federation.
For anyone who doesn't know just how cartoony the 80s were, WWF really tried to sell you on the fact that this fucking kumquat's last name was actually Beefcake. Beefcake. A fucking cake of beef, ladies and gentlemen. Brutus the Barber Meatloaf, essentially. What a stupid-ass name. Stupid. Why did I sound Brooklyn? Somehow this man managed to become the second most well-known tag team partner of Hulk Hogan, standing just in front of Edge. Odd company. While the Barber hasn't had any hair appointments for quite some time now, he will be making his way into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, as the reports that came out a few weeks ago also listed Tori Wilson, and she's just been confirmed, so it'll be plenty of fun seeing this fucking dude show up with an unnecessarily large pair of scissors.
Set those down.
Surprised you got by security with those.
I'm pretty good at sneaking in places with these, okay? Just ask the mayor of Toronto.
Number 3, Val Venis, the man with the penis, the sexual extremist, not exactly the cleanest, but believe it when I breathe it, an attitude era genius. My PayPal will be in the description, thank you all kindly. Here's a picture of Val Venis in 2018 in return, and I've truly never liked this man more.
Held in the San Jose Medical Center undergoing observation. Doctors want to reevaluate the tests. So tomorrow night on Raw, we will have an update on this.
Number 2, Molly Holly.
Trish up, here's Molly Holly. Oh, what a maneuver! Hooks the leg! It's over! Molly Holly! Did you see that?
Whoa, wow, this is just fucking wild. I remember Molly Holly from my childhood days, alright? Back when my brother would watch SmackDown while I was trying to sleep, and he would try moves on me in between the commercials if I wasn't asleep yet. Fucking swanton bombing asshole. Anyway, I remember Molly Holly's image very well. Better than anything else about her, honestly. Just that and her hardcore title reign is about it. And holy shit, was it weird seeing her at the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble. Not because she was in the Women's Royal Rumble, because I can't fucking pronounce that for some reason, because she was an easy prediction. But that hairstyle was not as easy to predict.
Their stage presence, like the superstars of today, are just way above anything that I ever did, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do next.
And number 1, Sting.
Oh my God! It's Sting! What's Stinger's hand?
Alright, fuck everyone. I've had multiple people tell me that I'm insane for thinking Steve Borden looks any different, but to me, I swear to God, it's insane how different this man looks in 2019. So out of spite, I am purposely putting a controversial opinion for the top pick. Fuck the rules. Rules. We don't have fucking rules here. I went on a mini monologue about Sheik's fucking Twitter page. But still, Sting doesn't look like Sting anymore to me. Maybe it's the face paint. It's probably the face paint, I'll be honest. But I'm talking about just the man's face without any additions, which you could always clearly make out with his older, flashier paint style, especially because there's plenty of footage and pictures of him without that face paint. If you've only ever known TNA Sting, or maybe even just Crow Sting in general, this might not apply to you so much, but if you take a look at 1980s Sting and then a picture of 2019 Steve Borden and tell me you see it, you're either a liar or I'm just a fucking idiot. Who we kidding? I'm a fucking idiot either way.
Champions, where Sting and Ric Flair would meet for the very first time. They, of course, would have a rivalry.
And those are 10 wrestlers you don't recognize in 2019. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below after liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and notification-zing that bell.
Tosh beat.